What's going on, guys? Radio Graffiti here, and today I want to talk to you guys about episode 5 and 6 of The Boys. This episode is pretty much the definition of a mixed bag for me. I don't really like the first 40 minutes of the episode, but I like the last 20 to 30 minutes of the episode. So I'm pretty mixed on it. We get a lot of religious talk in this episode, which is just whatever. I don't know where all this Homelander being God stuff is going to go. They got a Homelander Bible now. And Soldier Boy's got a pretty good reaction to it where he's just like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't really know where this storyline is going. We've only got like 3 episodes left, so it's going to have to pay off soon. So pretty much the entire episode is just them telling little stories about all these different characters. So we start off with Firecracker. It's basically just her alone. She goes and talks to the guy who raised her about her religion and all this stuff. She has sex with Soldier Boy some more, and she goes pillow talking to him, which was probably a big mistake. And basically it's all just about Firecracker and her questioning her religion. Will she follow Homelander or will she follow Jesus? Will she turn her back on the man who raised her? And of course she does. And then we go to Black Noir. He wants to be an actor. The director gets murdered by an eel going up his ass, thanks to the deep. And then we go to Terror. He has dreams about Homelander, which is pretty funny that Anthony Starr actually agreed to do this stuff. A lot of other actors would probably just have a massive ego about it and say, no, I'm not filming this. This is going to make me look ridiculous. But I'm glad that Anthony Starr, he doesn't have an ego about it. He'll film pretty much anything for this show. But yeah, Terror eats chocolate and almost dies, but Huey saves him, which kind of makes Butcher change his mind about Starlight and Kimiko getting V1. Sure, whatever. Butcher constantly goes from being human to being a complete monster based on the seasons and episodes. He's just a roller coaster. And then we go to Sister Sage. Her whole storyline is mostly with Ashley, where she's basically just talking about her big master plan. Who cares? So basically my problem with the whole first 40 minutes of this episode is just, why are we developing these side characters halfway through the final season? Like, this isn't the time to do this kind of shit. Season 3, Season 4, sure, just randomly you could, I guess, get away with this, but, this is the final season. And at this point, we don't really care about Sage, Firecracker, Black Noir. We're all just waiting to see what happens with Homelander. We spent basically the entire season trying to find V1. And now the boys have to create their virus again. That's basically been the plot for the entire final season. So basically they have little to no plot. Even though there's like over 20 characters in this show, who all have storylines that you kind of need to start tying up. But yes, we finally get to the best part of the episode, which is Soldier Boy's part. He goes and interrogates Stan Edgar, which is a pretty good scene. It's just so amusing seeing Stan Edgar being able to kind of verbally take on Soldier Boy and Homelander. But eventually Stan Edgar realizes Soldier Boy knows all about Zoe, so he tells him about Mr. Marathon, I believe his name is. So Homelander goes to visit him with Soldier Boy. And the show kind of takes shots at the whole Sony universe. There's also a pretty funny line that Homelander says where he's like, it only made $35 million on a $200 million budget. Boy, it sounds a lot like the conversations we have nowadays, doesn't it? And then we get kind of a this is the end too scene with all these celebrities. It's kind of what it feels like. They're all just kind of fucking around and talking about Homelander and the Starlighters and stuff. This is a good thing and a bad thing for the exact same reason. It feels like just a lot of the behind the scenes producers and writers would all thought it'd be kind of funny to have these celebrities who are all best friends in like real life or whatever kind of just come on the show and just have a lot of funny moments with Homelander and Soldier Boy. Like I said, that's a good and bad thing depending on who you ask. A lot of people, this might kind of take them out of the show and think this is all really stupid. But for me, I kind of like this kind of stuff. You only get scenes like this in The Boys, which kind of makes it stand out. It's unique, it's funny, it's really stupid. And it's worth it for what comes later. Mr. Marathon takes Soldier Boy and Homelander to his little area. He's got Diddy oil and stuff, which is kind of funny to see the boys reference Diddy. There's no way this isn't a reference to Diddy, right? Like, there's no way it's just a pure coincidence. I'm surprised they were able to fit this into the show. We also get a lot of awkward moments with Homelander, where he's kind of just sitting down waiting for his dad to finish his cocaine with his new friends. In case you don't get the joke, these are all actors from Supernatural, where Jensen Ackles kind of came from. That's his most iconic show. So you got Sam Winchester, and then I think the other guy's name is Castiel in Supernatural. So that's kind of what's going on here. It's a sort of Supernatural reunion, which is kind of fun because I'm kind of in on a joke. I've seen enough Supernatural to kind of get the history with these characters. I haven't seen the entire series. I'm no Supernatural fanboy or anything. I just kind of know enough. I've seen some episodes here and there. And it makes for a lot of fun lines, like when they knock out Homelander, and Soldier Boy's just like, "What the fuck?" And then when Sam Winchester's like, "Look, dude, fuck this fucking guy. They want to ban abortions. They want to ban porn." I don't know. All these lines were just kind of funny, just the way they say it. It's just like one of those movies where shit just goes wrong out of nowhere in somebody's house, and they're all just like freaking out and panicking, and they don't know what to do. Soldier Boy also gets a pretty good line where he's like, "Yeah, well, banning abortion would be a pretty big deal for me, especially." A lot of people look at that line and think, "Oh, look at Soldier Boy, he's a feminist. He's standing up for women. Maybe he's not so bad." It's like, you guys do realize he's saying this because he's an asshole who just wants to have as much sex as he wants to without having to deal with any of the consequences. So yeah, that was all pretty good stuff. A lot of funny lines, I think. And probably the best moment of the episode is when Mr. Marathon is just running through all these celebrities. Soldier Boy's just throwing them right at him. And he's running through them, which kind of slows him down because he's covered in blood and guts. It was especially satisfying seeing Seth Rogen die. Because, fuck Seth Rogen. Can't stand his stupid laugh. I can't stand him and his stoner humor. And then Mr. Marathon ends up slipping on the Diddy oil. And we get kind of a brutal scene with him dying. Soldier Boy snaps both his legs and then Homelander smashes his face in. I don't even think I can show that part on YouTube. But it's pretty brutal. Just this whole section of the episode I really enjoy. A lot of fun lines, a lot of funny moments, situations that they get in. Is it realistic that Soldier Boy sticks up for Homelander and takes on these guys? I don't know. I mean, I guess I can see it, since Homelander spared his life in the last episode. Even though Homelander had every reason to want to kill Soldier Boy for what he did to him. I guess I can see where he starts to develop sort of a bit of a soft spot for Homelander, but we'll have to wait and see when the season ends, if he's just trying to play him or not. He might have another goal for him. I don't know yet. Yeah, the episode ends with, of course, Firecracker dies. Watching The Walking Dead has kind of prepared me for stuff like this. Whenever a side character starts getting a lot of screen time, it probably means they're going to die at the end of the episode. And sure enough, that's what happens. I can't really feel bad for her. She even had a golden ticket from Homelander to just walk out the door. No connections at all. He wasn't going to kill her. But she couldn't shut her mouth. She couldn't leave him alone, which cost her her life. Pretty dumb on her part. So yeah, like I said, the episode's kind of a mixed bag for me. Stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like. I just think it's kind of a waste of time to try to develop characters. Halfway through the final season, and we get a lot of stupid scenes with a dog humping a Homelander toy and eating chocolate out of a trash can. It's like, what are we doing here? Which leads us to the next episode. As far as episode 6 goes, really nothing happens the entire episode besides two things. Black Noir dies, and Homelander gets V1. The rest of it is just them kind of dragging their ass to get to that point. Like the boys having to go to an old man who goes to an old lady who can connect them to the bomb site. There's kind of shit like that. Just a lot of dragging our ass. Basically what they've done the entire season. So mostly what I have to talk about is the stuff that happens at the end. Everything else before that, I mean, Sage has Ashley read Soldier Boy's mind. So remember that. That's going to come in handy later in the episode. We get a pointless fight scene between old people and the boys. It really doesn't go anywhere outside of childish, "Ooh, look at him, he has a long ball sack." Not going to be confused with the other guy who has a long penis. Wow. Great job, guys. You're so fucking funny. And then Sage ends up teaming up with the boys. Because apparently she doesn't like Homelander. Kind of makes you wonder why she hasn't been helping them out since season 4 when she was introduced. It took her this long to decide to go against Homelander. Then we also get Starlight versus Oldfather, which means pretty much nothing because they all just end up walking away. Nothing really comes from it. I guess Oldfather's power is basically like the Black Canary scream. And Starlight's power is just getting her ass whooped by making her hands glow. Because I've never seen her do anything cool with those powers at all. She constantly gets her ass whooped. So yeah, to the two big things of the episode, Black Noir dies. He has a pretty lame death scene. The Deep just kind of chokes him and then he grabs his knife and starts stabbing him. It's like, really? Is that all his character is in this show? He just randomly gets killed off by a member of the Seven for shock value? Well, that's Black Noir and the boys. The first Black Noir got murdered by Homelander, and the second one got murdered by the Deep. So he went out like a bitch, basically both times. I don't know how the Deep has still been alive for as long as he has in this show. And the big part of the episode is Homelander finally gets V1. We've been leading to this all season. He finally has it. And Sister Sage is all like, it's impossible. I didn't think Soulja Boy would give it to him. It's like, really? I actually read Soulja Boy's mind earlier and told you that. And it makes no sense for Soulja Boy to even give Homelander V1, because he was just talking about how much he does not want Homelander to get V1 basically all season. So the fact that he now has it in his hand and suddenly he's changed his mind makes no sense. The only way any of this makes any sense is if Soulja Boy and Sage both have alternate motives. Like maybe Soulja Boy gave Homelander fake V1, he switched out with something else. And maybe Sister Sage actually wants Homelander to get V1. I don't know, that's the only thing that can make sense. That's probably just me coping with this terrible writing, but I think it's most likely. What we see is what we're getting. That has made Sister Sage, the quote-unquote smartest person in the show, look like an absolute idiot. Like, wow, who would have thought Homelander's dad would be giving him V1? Wow, I totally didn't see that coming. Sister Sage, why do you think you know Soulja Boy so well? You barely know this guy. But yet you're so 100% convinced that he would never give Homelander V1? Why? Who do you think Soulja Boy has loyalties to anymore? So yeah, it's cool how the episode ends with Homelander just kind of beaming his eyes into the sky and Butcher just saying run. Hopefully now we're finally getting into the chaos portion of the show, what we kind of expected the entire season to be. But I don't know. I believe shit hits the fan when it actually hits the fan. Soulja Boy at this point is the only one who can probably defeat Homelander if he really does have V1. We've seen Soulja Boy depower the bomb site guy. You know, they have their little fight and then they come to an agreement. Now, hey, I'll give you the V1 if you depower me so I can go hang out with my boo. So at this point, Soulja Boy is our only hope against Homelander. Because I don't know what the hell the boys are supposed to do now. And Homelander should definitely hear Sister Sage and the boys over there by that tree. He has very good hearing and smell. So the next episode should start off with them all getting basically absolutely annihilated by Homelander. Just obliterated by his laser vision, but we know because of plot armor, that's not going to happen. Because Homelander does have really good hearing, smell, all that kind of stuff. His senses work great, so he should definitely know they're over there. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the latest episodes of The Boys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys next time.